What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here. And we got game three of the BFR series this year of the regular season, and it's at the Pittsburgh Penguins. It was last night at 6 p.m. on October 16th. Um, the Hawks never show up for the first period. That's clear from the first three games. They never come ready to play, and they always have to play catch up before they can even get onto the normal part of the game. The New Jersey win, not New Jersey. That was yesterday's loss. Before, not yesterday's, 2 days ago now. Pittsburgh wins 5-2. Shots are 26-20 Pittsburgh. Faceoffs are 20-17 Chicago. Hits are 31-26 Chicago. The power plays were Chicago was 1 for 3, Pittsburgh was 0 for 2. Fleury makes 6 out of 10 saves before Lankinen comes in. That's how you know how this game went. And then 15 out of 16 saves for Lankinen. Jari made 18 out of 20 in the win. And the Hawks record is now 0-2-1. So the management core might be getting a shakeup if things don't change the way it's going. Bowman and Colleton are on thin ice right now with this team that they have, and it could get worse. But let's get right into the game. Getzel and Aston Reese return they were both out with COVID protocols and minor injuries, but they're back. Crosby and Malkin did not play, as I'm pretty sure most of you would know. Doc was now on the first line, and Johnson was on the third line. They switched places. And then 19 minutes at 19:45, 15 seconds into the game, it's a goal from Pittsburgh's Teddy Bluger. It's a second of the season from Marino and McGinn to make it 1-0. It wasn't even a shot. It was a pass through that didn't get over, and it went right off Fleury's pad and in. That's one Fleury just cannot let in. A $7 million goaltender, former Vezina winner. He's learning quickly that this ain't Vegas, and he's not going to get the support he's going to get when he was there. So this is already not a great start, because especially against New Jersey, they scored 17 seconds in. Now they score 15 seconds in. And then at 14:27, it's another goal from Pittsburgh's Drew O'Connor from Simon and Dumoulin to make it 2-0. This one, Fleury's getting a lot of flack on. The Penguins hit the post just before, so that was already scary. But the puck was going around the net, and then right before it got to Fleury, right before the trapezoid, it just stopped. And Fleury couldn't get back in time, and it was a wide open net. And I don't blame Fleury for that one, but that's just one where you got to have cover on the. If you're the goaltender, you got to cover the goal. That's just something you have to do. And Fleury was in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Then at 12:13, there's a Chicago penalty to Doc for high sticking, which is killed. And at 9:01, it's another goal from Pittsburgh's Brock McGinn, the first of the year from O'Connor, to make it 3-0. O'Connor had a good game. And then at Kubalik has a breakaway that was saved, and then at that Pedersen saved. The defenseman came back and got a stick on the puck, so he was able to avoid a possible goal for Kubalik, who has his first game where he hasn't scored. And then at 8:35, it's another goal for Pittsburgh to make it 4-0. It's Dan Heinen, his third of the year already, from Getzel and Carter. Heinen's having a pretty good year already, 3 goals in 3 games for him. And it's 4-0. And then this is when Lankinen went in. Lankinen goes in. Fleury, as he's walking, he goes to the bench. He looks all fine. And then as soon as he gets down the tunnel, throws his blocker, breaks his stick in the tunnel. And you had to feel bad for his return to Pittsburgh in a Chicago uniform. Anytime Fleury comes back to Pittsburgh, it's a momentous occasion. And not even 12 minutes in, he was already out of the game. Not even 13 minutes in. Gaudette had a chance, then that was saved, and then Stillman stops a Kapanen breakaway. This is the thing with Chicago. They always never show up for the first period or until late in the first period, and then they'll mostly outplay their opponent for the rest of the game. This has probably been the most balanced game after the first 4 goals. Colorado dominated. New Jersey, visually, Chicago dominated and still lost. This game, Pittsburgh dominated the first 15 minutes, and then Chicago, and then they started battling back and forth. Chicago maybe had a bit of an edge on them. But Stillman is quickly becoming Stillman is becoming underrated, I realize. He's on the third pair on the defensive core. He knows how to play physical. It's a presence I really haven't seen from Chicago. Chicago's always been a physical team, but they haven't laid the big hits. They haven't laid the Dustin Byfuglien kind before he was not when Byfuglien was more in Chicago, more when he was in Winnipeg. But that kind of thing, and Stillman's bringing that kind of edge, which I really like to the Hawks. DeBrincat hit the post, and then since Lankinen went in, the Hawks have dominated, but to no avail. Uh, Gustafson and Kapanen got tangled, and there was no penalty. The crowd didn't like it and loudly voiced their displeasure. Lankinen saved a shot on his by his own teammate to break it, which almost copied McCabe from the New Jersey game, just a lot farther away, and Lankinen was again sharp on that one. Two Penguins collided then at the end of the second, and then before the second ends, the glass had to be replaced. So there was an intermission, and then they played the last 45 seconds of the first period. I've seen this happen before. And then, since the glass takes a long time to replace, so then they had the intermission, they played the last 45 seconds, and then they went right to the second period. And then at 15:09, it's a penalty to Pittsburgh's Aston Reese for interference. Then at 9 seconds into the power play, it's a goal from Chicago. It's Patrick Kane, first of the year, from DeBrincat and Jones to make it 4-1. So maybe you're like, okay, maybe they can start something here. And then Gaudette had a chance that was saved. Gaudette played pretty well. I like the way Gaudette was playing. He plays well against Pittsburgh. It said in the previous, before the game started, that Gaudette had scored 2 goals in 3 games against Pittsburgh. So he was sharp tonight. He's good against Pittsburgh. Good to know that. And that's a player they should watch going in the future, as Gaudette was having a lot of good chances. He was one of the bright spots tonight, last night. Hawks made some line changes. Hagel went up to the second line. Kershaw went down to the third. The Hawks were dominating. The puck bounces behind Lankinen, but it didn't go in. It bounced off the backboards and then behind him, like, oh no, it just bounced in. And then the puck kind of just bounced off Lankinen, but it didn't go very far. Didn't have enough momentum, so he was able to cover it up. Both goalies didn't have their sticks for several minutes, in the weirdest turn of events. I've seen already a tons of stuff on Instagram, TikTok, like all these like videos of like both goalies don't have their sticks right now, whether they were in the stadium or not. It was pretty funny to watch. Then at 9:41, Chicago gets a penalty. It's Doc for roughing, so he takes another penalty, which was killed. McGinn should have been given a penalty for slashing, but they didn't call it. And then at 8:32, Pittsburgh penalty to Carter for tripping, which was killed. But it would be 4-on-4 for 51 seconds before Simon would. No, that's a different thing. It would be 4-on-4 for 51 seconds. Chicago would get a power play for like 30 seconds. They wouldn't go. It looked okay, but wasn't great. And then at 4:42, Chicago penalty to Kara for hooking. And there's a Pittsburgh penalty to Brian Boyle for high sticking. And it's a double minor because Stillman was bleeding. So they get Hawks end up getting a power play that Simon would serve since it was the end of the period. So Kubalik had been playing pretty well at that point. The announcers had pointed out, so I wrote that down. The power play looked okay, but they wouldn't score on it. Then at 2:05, there's a Chicago penalty to Gaudette that got canceled because Pittsburgh scores a shorthanded goal during the power play. It's Jason Zucker, and it went off Murphy and then in. It was after a great save too, which made it so much worse. And then if it was from Kapanen and Rodriguez, it was Zucker's, I believe, first of the year. And then Kershaw made some fantastic moves around a defender, got saved by Jari. Then we go to the third period, and not much really at all happened. Lankinen made a good save. The Penguins had a 2-on-1 that was broken up by Stillman. As I said, Stillman was playing really well. Stillman laid an absolute beast of a hit on Simon. Simon's been playing pretty well since he came back to Pittsburgh. He's been scoring. He's been getting points. Maybe this will be a much better go-around than his first time with Pittsburgh. And then for 12 and a half minutes, there was no whistle. And there was finally a whistle at 7:32. So from about 19 minutes, like I think maybe 4 seconds, and then it went to 7:32, which was incredible. Like Eddie Olczyk, the announcer crew, was saying they had not seen anything like this before. They've seen like long, but they hadn't seen that long. And then there were only 2 faceoffs before that to start the period, so that was showing how fast-paced this game was going. It was a lot of back and forth. Then at 4:03, it's a goal from Chicago's Kirby Dach, second of the year, showing that he's having a pretty good year so far. He's been by far the Hawks' best player, in my opinion. And it's from Hagel and Kane to make it 5-2. It was a tic-tac-toe play. Went from Kane brought it into the zone to Hagel to Dach, and it went in. So it was a pretty good chance. Now, if we look at the board here, there are some various things that are pretty interesting. The fact that Buffalo is 2-0 and they beat Arizona. The fact that Montreal is 0-3. We didn't think they'd be that bad. The fact that Arizona is ahead of 3 different teams, and Winnipeg's at the bottom of that division. The fact that Minnesota's at the top. The fact that Colorado's in 3rd. Seattle's in 2nd. San Jose's in 4th. Vegas is in 7th. Calgary, that's a possibility. Islanders are still in last in that division. A lot of these teams just haven't played enough games to catch up with the rest of their opponents yet. Pittsburgh has not lost in regulation. They currently lead the league with 5 points. So if you're looking at your best team in the league right now, you got Pittsburgh. But there's only one game tonight, and I'm pretty sure it started half an hour ago as I'm recording this. Dallas and Ottawa are playing, so we'll see if Dallas or Ottawa moves up in the standings later. Next Blackhawks game will be on Tuesday, which is today's the 17th, so October 19th, and the game's at 7 against the New York Islanders. It'll be the Hawks home opener. So if you're a Hawks fan watching this, be sure to catch that, see if they do anything before the game, and then after that they got a game against Vancouver, which we'll be celebrating Kane's 1,000th game with. So we got a 4-game homestand next. Let's hopefully the Hawks can get some wins out of this homestand. Maybe their crowd will rally them, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks you guys for watching.